Football time again. It's Central FC and Walsall FC of England. They are playing right here at the Heath Stadium right here on Wii Sports. I'm Ian Wason. Joining me, it's former 2006 World Cup goalkeeper, former Defence Force and Crew Alexander goalkeeper, Clayton Ince. Good evening, Clayton.
Hi, good evening.
Well, it's pre-season for both teams. League One, League One, Walsall FC and the Central FC of the TT Pro League. They are preparing for their respective campaigns later this year. As we are looking at the teams getting ready for kickoff, Central FC in their traditional white outfits, and Walsall, who will kick off from right to left on your screens in the all red.
Yes, this is an interesting game to look at here now, to see that our local lads and our professional league lads to match up with the Division 1 team of Walsall. They did well last season, Walsall. They came ninth in the season. They're a pretty young team. And it shows that, they could be at any age and they could play at professional level at the highest standard. So we're looking forward to see this Central FC team and the youngsters step up and show their quality.
On Central FC with a throw on the left side. And the whistle goes to the way of Central FC. And Central FC bringing in a lot of fresh faces as we are looking in the lineup as well as on the bench. Yes, we have the veterans in Marvin Oliver, Hector Sam and Jason McCannell, but there are also some new, fresh young faces as in Javon Sample, who was the starting goalkeeper, championship goalkeeper with St. Anthony's College last season, as well as Daryl Trim, who would have been his teammate in St. Anthony's. And I'm seeing here Franz Husbands, the son. And there's a chance here for Central FC early in the game, but the goalkeeper doing quite well.
Yes, he did really well to come off his line very quick, and knowing that the Central FC have quick players, and to know that they adjusted to it. And I believe they'll do that very well because they had 2 games already, and knowing the quality of Trinidad and the players are very nippy and deceptive. So it's good that they adjusted very quick.
And of course, on Sunday evening, they had a very good game against the Pro League 11. Pro League 11 changing the entire starting lineup at half-time. Wondering if they had kept that particular starting lineup who played in the first half, the game could have been different.
Yes, it could have been different, but it shows the quality and the kind of character that, it shows the difference of professionalism in both teams, where that all players think it's just a kickabout, and even if it's a pre-season for Walsall FC, they take it very serious, and that is the kind of thing that we have to start stepping into our pro league and into our players in the league down here to get the league at a higher level and a better standard. Right now, we're just looking at, it's very nice to see that, you have a young goalkeeper putting him into the frame to show his experience and give him experience of this type of football. Right now, Walsall is on the attack. They're attacking down the left side. Cross is coming in. No, he's dribbling. And the cross has been in and over the bar. But it shows that they are just very quick and to do the first counter attack in a positive way. And to show that, Trinidad FC team is really have to do some work tonight. They really have to show their quality.
But of course, the Central FC have their work cut out as Walsall already showing the intentions. They were going to send those aerial balls in for Troy Hewitt, who scored on Sunday.
And it's to show you how the good thing. The Pro League has just finished. These players are already on a pre-season break, I should say. And Walsall is in their pre-season at the moment. And it's just to show that as a footballer, your season don't really ever finish. You always have to keep playing. You have to keep at a certain fitness level And Warsaw, they're showing with their youth, the development program is pretty good. They came, as I said, ninth last season with a set of young lads, and they're still in a learning process. Even this part of their preseason is not really about tactics, but about getting their fitness right and getting their heads right into playing the proper football.
Central FC just cutting off that attack, that potential attack, as Benning was looking to start something from the left side. But Central FC doing well on there. A good coach in Terry Fenwick, who has done so much under Simon Jablote, and now he has transformed Central FC. He took Central FC last season, somewhere midway in the season where they were having a hard time in the Pro League. Done so well with them. And now, this is Central FC. This is Strim looking to turn, but he couldn't get through that sea of red there. Marvin Oliver, the veteran.
Yes, it's good to see Marvin Oliver still at it. He's showing a lot of potential still. He showed that the desire to play football. And, you're never too old and you're never too young, as I should say, to learn. And that is what he's doing. He's trying to teach these youngsters to play the game the correct way and to give your all.
He's one of the long list of footballers who, I must say, was underused by the national team.
Yes, they oversight him, and I think sometimes in your era, sometimes when you have a lot of good players in that caliber, sometimes good players get left out. But it shows to say that he's still showing himself to the selectors, and he's playing at a decent level where that he can be called at any time. So he's really one of the fellas that your youngsters really have to look up to into this Pro League. We also have a number 7 who's from Tobago, Jason Marcano. And he's showing a bit of quality, playing in the Walsall team. And nobody who comes to the game now will ever think that he just recently joined the team in training, and he's doing pretty well. Oh, it's Jem Gordon. Jem Gordon of Tobago. I'm sorry for that. That he's doing pretty well. He showed in the last game the quality he had. He got man of the match. He got man of the match in 2 games. And he's showing a lot of quality in this.
You're just seeing the veteran in Marvin Oliver just being helped up there, but he's okay. Walking gingerly, but he's okay. Jem Gordon, I think he scored 2 goals in the game against the Pro League 11. He scored 2 goals on that Sunday evening to help Walsall to the 3-2 win over the Pro League 11.
Ball is hit very long forward by the goalkeeper. A lot of challenges going up in the air.
Marvin Oliver with the infringement.
A strong challenge, but that's how Marvin Oliver plays all the time. He's a strong lad and he's very competitive.
So Walsall will get a free kick. Let's see what they would make of this free kick. They have just about 4 red shirts forward in a sea of white. Another one going in there.
The ball was hit to Jem Gordon of Tobago, who plays presently with Warsaw FC in these friendlies. He scored actually 3 goals in 2 games. In this little run of play, he plays for Phoenix FC of Tobago. And as I said, he looks pretty impressive in the setup, in the Warsaw setup, like he's been around the club for a couple of years. But it's good to see that youngsters go into a professional environment and behave very, very, very professionally, I should say, and to be scoring goals and being very active in play in the attack for Warsaw.
Who knows, maybe he can be in the Walsall books when they campaign in the League One next season.
Well, that'll be very nice because Walsall also had Hector Sam, which did very well with his stint there. Myself, I had a good stint at Warsaw myself, and just to see that Trinidad could send more players to Warsaw and give a household name in the Warsaw lineup for over a couple of years. I think he might be just the first one of many to come.
Had a very good season with Phoenix. Phoenix had a very good season themselves, chopping down some of the Pro League teams in the competitions, in the domestic knockout competitions last season. Good partnership you have formed with Darren Mitchell, who got the MVP of the Super League. He was named just last week the Super League's MVP, Darren Mitchell. He is in the books of the Central FC, although he's not slated to play this evening.
Well, I think Central FC is just using a lot of new players and a lot of young players who they must have in the system or who they're looking at to put into the books this season. And it's good to see that they get a nice run out onto a League One side to show that what competitiveness they are going to give and add on to the team, and also to give themselves a good showcase to even be on the books for Walsall, not even just for Central FC, but for Walsall also.
This is Morris on the right side, on the left side for Walsall, and dealt with somehow by the Central FC players. That's number 4, Omar Charles, coming to help out in defense there, and I'm sure that Daryl Trim will be thankful of such support.
So far, Central FC have been defending pretty well, but we've seen a lot of play, maybe in the center third and a bit more into the final third of the Central FC. So I think they a bit have to organize themselves. And as I say, well, it's a lot of trials now for teams to see what best players they could do and use for the upcoming season.
All the way back to the captain, number 4, Andy Butler. Into turn, seeing Benningdale alone on the left, cutting inside his man, and a good touch from the number 10, James, Omari Sterling-James, looking for his striking partner in Jem Gordon, but just evaded him just a bit. And it could have been a goal here for Walsall.
Yes, I think Central FC have to do a bit defending proper and neat. I think they're just letting things slip by. They're getting drawn into the ball and not really looking at their players to defend in a proper way. And I think it's just doing the right thing, and the proper thing will get you through games. Oh, a true ball is going to Central FC, and he had a swipe at it and didn't really recover after that. Central FC has been having a few good chances on the counters, but it's not really organized. It's just a one-off, and I think the strikers need to be more composed when they get these opportunities. Because I think if he did it pretty well, he would have had a good shot on target and maybe make the keeper give a good save. But so far, they have not really given the keeper anything to save for. Walsall is keeping the ball very well and very tidy, making the Central FC defense work hard, their midfield, to do their tracking back. We still have Jem Gordon. He's doing pretty well down Walsall right side, and he's making the defender, the left defender for Central FC, have to defend very well.
Jem Gordon, he's really impressing so far in this encounter. The free kick to be taken by Flannagan. Looking for movement up forward. And the referee's assistant flag indicated offside.
I think this is the time that a lot of players have to think about their football and what they're doing on the pitch, because the same as Walsall has a couple trial players themselves, and they're looking pretty organized. I think in Central FC, once you're a footballer, I think when you go to play games, you have to know what job you're supposed to do and your role on the team. And I think these players are just playing just to see if they could find themselves, which they're already being selected and chosen to play this game.
Well, Trim has just been called back for an offside infringement, Daryl Trim. played on by a ball from Jason McCannell.
Yes, I don't think he should be running offside because he's looking along the line of the play and still running. Yeah, but as I say, all that's within experience and knowledge of the game. That is what these players have to learn. They have to learn a bit the knowledge of the game to make their game much simpler. And that's what we need to learn in Trinidad, as footballers. And I think something when myself went out, I learned a lot about it. And this is why we come back home now to give that type of experience and that knowledge to these youngsters so we can uplift the game of football in Trinidad.
Butler with a free kick. Butler, two-time Player of the Year for Walsall. And I'm speaking about Player of the Year. I'm looking through the list in 2008. A certain Clayton Ince, Player of the Year. Could you tell us about that season?
Yes, that season was a bit tough. I think it had a lot of players in line for it, but I think they look at the role that he played and the quality. And I wouldn't say I take it all to myself. We had a nice team spirit in the back there and a good leadership qualities. And I think those are the things that bring you out as Player of the Year. Sometimes when the team is down, that you could bring the team out of it and get results. You can help the young ones. You show maturity into the game. And that is what I did at that time of the year for myself in the season. Because that time too, I had the likes of Anthony Gerrard. He's been an impressive youngster for Walsall. He got 2005, 2006, and then he got 2007, 2008. And he's a young player, pretty young at that time for Walsall FC, and he's been doing pretty well.
And this is a shot hitting the bar. Morris, number 21 for Walsall, hitting the bar. And Sample was left for dead there, but the post came, the crossbar helped him.
As a goalkeeper, we call that a save, whether or not, because that's part of the structure, keeping the ball out of the net. But looking at it, you see how the defense just opened up, and he just went straight through the center, and that's what I'm talking about. We have to, as a defender, we have to focus and concentrate on it. They're still trying to figure out what to do and how to adjust. The thing is, you have to play as a back four and play together. And that's where the communication comes in, and that's where you get to sometimes your leadership. Somebody has to take it by the scruff and make back four work together.
It's Walsall again this time. Some good defensive work there, but he has to do more work as the Walsall George. Just being hustled there by Jamal Jack. So Walsall, they would have another throw on the right side. Still goalless here at the Hazy Crawford Stadium. Walsall FC, if you have just joined us, they are playing Central FC in a friendly pre-season for both teams. Walsall preparing for campaigning in the League One in England, and the Central FC, the TT Pro League, right here in Trinidad and Tobago. Benning, Morris.
But it's pretty nice and good to know that, our local clubs are trying to get encouraged and bringing these European clubs to come to play in Trinidad. It's all well and good that Central FC is trying to get these all foreign clubs, especially European clubs, to come to the Caribbean, as we have a lot of players that already been in Europe and playing with these English clubs, and we did pretty well for ourselves. And I think we should start to open the window and the doors to get these more European countries to come into our Caribbean island and show, and we could get our youngsters exposed to top football.
And of course, and it would also help in the movement of the turnstiles, as the fans will come out and see these European teams coming out and play. Well, football is on a high, especially as last evening, Trinidad and Tobago, a 2-2 draw with El Salvador as they kicked off their campaign in the CONCACAF Gold Cup, and some work was just cleared out here by Central FC of Trinidad and Tobago Pro League. And another infringement in favor of Walsall. We'll come back to that CONCACAF Gold Cup match in just a bit. And the cross wasn't a good one. And it will be a goal kick for Central FC.
Well, it was good to see that some of the Central FC players they're hustling back to actually get these Walsall players to make mistakes. And I think if it wasn't for the player that rushed back to get that guy to make that kind of cross, you know what I mean, it would have been a much difficult time for the defense.
Coming back to that game last evening, Trinidad and Tobago 2, El Salvador 2, did you get a chance to view the match?
Didn't get to see it much because trying to repair things and help out the Warsaw team settling into Trinidad. But I heard it was a real great performance. You know what I mean? A lot to learn from it and a lot to work forward to, knowing that the difficulties we've been having in Trinidad and in football for a period of time. But it shows that, you know what I mean, the characters of Kevin Jones and Carlos are trying to still keep the football regime at a high still.
Well, we just seen a yellow card given to Jason McCann. Jason McCann been given a yellow card for the infringement. Walsall trying to make best of it, but Central FC defense will have none of it. Still more defending to do. Oliver. Looking to send trim.
Look like Central FC have to get more of the ball to Oliver to get some positive play, because the other players hasn't found their feet yet into the game.
Oliver, when he has the ball, he's not doing much as in terms of dribbling. He's passing the ball beautifully.
And that's the positive thing with it, is that Central FC has an experienced player who will sit there and look up and, you know what I mean, open up plays for the youngsters.
Trim, put it back, and there's a goal here. Jason McCann. Jason McCann, Trim doing well on the right side. Finding the space, put it back for Jason McCann and the former St. Anne's Rangers and Jablote midfielder. He scores.
It was a nice goal, well taken. He had to do a bit still by adjusting his feet to get that ball into the first post. I think it was sometimes you look at it and you say goalkeepers should be making those type of saves, but it was played behind the back. He did well to adjust his legs and get that ball squeezed in under first post on the goalkeeper. And that's to show you what Trinidad players and football is about. We always do the surprise element of scoring goals, but is now to see the transaction now to keeping that lead.
And doing whatever it takes to get that ball to the back of the net. You're doing some improvising there, Jason McCann. But this is Walsall looking for the equalizer. They're coming into the box, and this is Gordon doing all the way.
Yes, well defended, but the same thing I was now saying. They scored a goal, and now they have to focus on keeping the lead and not just giving up very easy. Those are the things we have to learn a lot in Trinidad and with the football we play, that when we score goals, not to concede right away. Cross came in, defenders headed away to safety, which is very good. So they're keeping focus still. They know the job that they have to do ahead, and they're doing it pretty well.
Walsall with a corner. 4 red shirts in the box. And it's a red shirt that got to the end of that one. And it would just go for a throw for Central FC, leading 1-0 by a goal from Jason McCann. Unlike the Pro League team, ensure that Central FC don't want to give up that lead, as Marvin Oliver is felled by his opposite number 10, Omari Sterling-James. Long ball, looking for Trim.
It was well kept in here by Trim.
Couldn't pass Benning, as Benning is doing his part. Back to O'Donnell in the Walsall goal.
And this is the part that is dangerous now.
James looking for.
Well defended by the defender, and keeper came out very brave to get the ball.
James looking for Gordon there, but the goalkeeper he found instead. Semple, who would have won the Big 8 with the Big 5. The Big 5 with St. Anthony's College. This perhaps could be his biggest match that he have had in his career so far. Playing against the Walsall English Division, the League One club. The third tier of the English football pyramid.
Keeper did well to keep the ball in play to avoid a corner. Well, Central FC is doing pretty well to keep this 1-0 lead. It will be nice for them to go into the half with a 1-0 lead. But the thing is, Walsall have been conceding a lot of early goals in the previous 2 games and also come back and score it. So these are the things that we have to look at and we have to pay particular attention to. In the last game, Walsall played with a representative 11. They were 2-0 down and came back and won the game 3-2. So these are things that we have to learn in the latter part of the game, that we have to still keep focus and make and see out the results that we want and not just let it slip by. Set pieces are very important and they look pretty strong. Hope that they could come away with it.
And that thing about scoring early and losing in the end, that is what Trinidad and Tobago narrowly avoided last evening. This is an attack on the left side. He has support coming in, but Trim, he couldn't find Trim. The Trinidad and Tobago scoring first last evening, but allowing El Salvador to equalize after just 10 minutes. In the second half, El Salvador went ahead 2-1, but Kenwin Jules equalizer saved the Trinidad's blushes in a 2-all draw.
Yes, it was a well-taken goal by Kevin Jones. He had a lot of work to do still, chesting the ball down and then putting it nicely away for the second goal. And that's the quality of Kevin Jones we know about. But we need a lot of more work on that to get further results in what we're looking at in the Gold Cup.
Benning with a cross, looking for Hewitt in the box, but well done by the central defense. Some good work from Mantom. It was fouled in the end by Kieron Trim.
Yes, Mantom showed a lot of strength on the ball. He also showed a lot of determination to get forward. So if they have to foul him, they will be in a very good position to get a free kick to cause some danger in Central FC.
Just looking back at that infringement again, pulling down Mantom. Kieron Trim committing the foul so that Mantom would himself would get up and take the free kick. A short free kick along the ground looking for, and that shot in the end for Morris went wide. So Central FC still leading 1-0 as we are looking back at the free kick from the shot from Morris. Did not get any touch on any player there. And it goes harmlessly for a goal kick.
The one thing I'm fearful for is that they get these opportunities and you're seeing 3 and 4 red shirts in positions that any slight touch could end up going towards goal. So they're defending a pretty deep, I should say, Central FC when it comes to that, without marking. And that's the important thing. We need to push the team a bit higher. So if any mistakes, you have a recovery space between it. But these things are happening in the 6-yard box. So you give the keepers the slightest and sometimes no chance at all to recover.
And as a goalkeeper, you were very vocal. You have been one of the very more vocal goalkeepers in your time between the sticks, and I'm sure that you would have been shouting to your defenders about that.
Yes, some keepers they have their strong points, and sometimes my own was a bit more organizing, getting the team. And sometimes the defenders need a goalkeeper behind them when they're confident that when they go forward, they have somebody behind them who will take charge of the situation. Whether it be mistakes or, a lovely through ball, somebody's there that they could depend on to do it. In my era, we had a lot of goalkeepers, and a lot of good goalkeepers at that. We had Michael Mukomi, you had Ross Russell, Hayden Thomas, Trevor Nottingham, and the latter part of it I got was like with Michael Maurice, Earl Carter, Era Lovell. So we had a big squad of players, of goalkeepers, and we always had to find the time and find things that you could be outstanding in, and that was one of my strong points. But good attacking move by Central FC, getting down in the Walsall third, and Walsall now is breaking out on their counter-attack. Good ball movement, good possession by Walsall, and Central FC have to do some defending now. And this is the time of the game that you have to be all focused and do not make a mistake. And these are the things that you look for. Giving silly fouls away and not defending well. And this is what Central FC have to look at. Giving all these free kicks in these areas, sometimes one of them just sneaks into the net.
I've just seen Darren Mitchell in the shot, so he's wearing the number 19 shirt that we were not seeing here on the team sheet. So Darren Mitchell, as I mentioned before, he's actually on the pitch.
No, Walsall is set up very well to have one of their free kicks. Looking to see what surprises we could get at this distance. They all looked lined up to have a long range shot.
Couldn't get past the wall.
Still in danger into the third, into Central FC third. Walsall still keeping possession, and it's called for offside. That is what you're looking at. You see the defense now is pushing up and trying to get them as high as outside the box, which is a nice to see that they're really adjusting now and doing what they have to do.
And in terms of the defense, that's one of our problems, even on the international scene. I was speaking with Ansel Elcock recently, and he stated that you need players who have been playing in England and different leagues to bring back their experience in helping the young crop of defenders that we have on the national team.
I think, I think it's the knowledge for the players. And even though we come back from England and give that knowledge, is the attitude of players, of defending. We have this tendency where that we play all-out attacking football. But we also need to know that we have to defend it. Because when you look at it, sometimes our goalkeepers back home here, most of us, they come back and they play as midfielders, strikers. So we have that mentality of attacking, but the other part of it is defending properly. And I think this is what Trinidad and football in Trinidad have to look at. We have to decide whether we just want to be a Brazilian type or we can mix it. A great takedown there by the keeper, dropped out of his hands, but a good recovery by the defense.
They bail him out of jail there, and the referee's flag stays down, but the ball was too far forward, so that Winchester couldn't get there, but the goalkeeper got in front of him. Flannagan turns, looking for the number 17, looking for the number 21, Morris, but it was just too high for him.
Too high and too long.
Taking a look back again as a drop from the goalkeeper.
Yes, it's really brave that the youngster came out knowing that he's been challenged by two Warsaw strikers, and it shows that, he has a good determination and bravery to come and do those things, and that is what we look at, having our young footballers be brave and confident in what they're going to do.
This is Jem Gordon looking to start something here for Walsall. Has one to pass. He looks. Hewitt. Good save by Simple and a good save again from the defender as Central FC breaks out of prison there. So Simple call upon good save on the ground.
Yes, it was well saved by the goalkeeper, and the defender did pretty well to recover, to give another block to help the goalkeeper in that spectacular save he'd had.
So Hewitt getting past that man, but a good save on the ground. Jem Gordon with a rebound, but finally cleared out by the number 12. Jamal Jack, who's having a good game so far. Central FC protecting that 1-0 lead. Sample, the young goalkeeper who played with St. Anthony's last season.
Yes, it's nice. He's made a good foot save, and that's part of being a goalkeeper, that you don't always have to be using your hands.
Comes out this time, had to use his hand there as Jem Gordon was on him.
This is the part of it that young goalkeepers have to look at. After making brilliant saves and doing very well, to be giving the ball away very cheaply. And this is part of the inexperience he'll have. And I think, well, as he goes along, he'll learn that, you have to keep focused still, even though you had good saves in the game.
Morris, he has Benning and he uses him on the left side. Good save again. Oliver looks for Mitchell.
It's good defending by Central FC. They're now doing their homework and working hard as a team and as a unit to defend. But they're still giving away these little pockets in the back to get around them. But their recovery, they're so quick, their recovery is what is helping them.
Flannagan looking for Gordon. And he loves the goalkeeper, but he also loves the post as well.
It was an early offside call. I think he didn't see that the linesman had his flag up. He was looking for a penalty, but as I said, good and brave that a young goalkeeper comes out.
Gordon looking for the penalty, but instead he realizes that he was offside, so Sample will kick the free kick. Gordon, Mitchell, Oliver, turning on his man, seeing some movement, but he plays it into Benning. Gordon looking for Hewitt. Well, James, in fact, was the one looking for Hewitt in front. Butler cutting out that one.
Also is combining well in the attacking third, but they're not just finishing the job.
If you have just joined us here, Central FC 1, Walsall FC 0. Friendly here at the Heath Crawford Stadium. Pre-season for both teams.
The transformation from attack to defense, I think that is a weak point in Central FC right now. They're doing pretty well, but only in spurts and not as a team.
Macano. He waits on Oliver, surges forward. And he's fouled there, so Oliver will benefit from the referee's whistle.
Oliver is having a pretty decent game so far. Every time he has the ball, you see something positive in him.
Long searching ball. Just find the red shirts.
And yes, and that is what I'm talking about. They're just hitting hoopful balls and looking for a spur of the moment instead of trying to combine together and look forward. That is what Walsall is doing at the moment.
Hewitt keeping his footing there, but in the end, the shot went, I must say, just tame in the end.
Yes, Walsall is doing both ways. They're hitting a long ball and trying to get behind the Central FC defense, which they're playing pretty higher now and they're playing a bit more compact. But they're varied in their attack. They go long at some and sometimes they try to play and combine together to get through. And this is what we're looking at and looking to get into local football, to change and combine your attack in different and verified ways. Central FC is very quick, they're challenging for each ball, and they're working very hard. It's really nice to see that they now get themselves into it, but Walsall is playing very, I should say, cheeky in the back here. They try to knock the ball short, but they don't realize that Central FC have quick and nippy players.
Also, that show on the right side of the field, Flannagan. James passing one. He has some support. He doesn't use the support. Hits the crossbar. And Flannagan loses out on the defense of Harris.
And once again, we're seeing the lack of concentration in defense for Central FC. These opportunities come in here. One might just slip in. You never know. But don't give these teams these type of opportunities because you'll get punished.
I must say James was guilty of not using the support that he had in the box. He decided to go alone. Cross coming in from the right side. Aiming for, I think it was Hewitt, but Sample could catch the ball simple. Oliver finding Marcano. First touch wasn't all that good, but he was able to recover. Ball looking for Gordon, but again, Sample would intercept there. Mitchell turning. Mitchell surges forward. See some movement in front. Randall Winchester would latch on to it, and he would go into the box. Not much support. Well saved by the goalkeeper, and another save by the goalkeeper. So Central FC not taking advantage and making it 2-0. However, O'Donnell made two great saves.
Yes, it was a great save. And I think it was a kind of bad defender that lunging at, knowing that you're the last man there. I think the defender should have stayed on his foot and try to help the challenge and make it better. The keeper did two great saves, and it was even better to know that the recovery save to put the ball over the bar.
Darren Mitchell and Jason Marcano having a word with the referee's assistant as they get ready to take this corner. Well dealt with there by Walsall. Darren Mitchell does well. Long ball from Harris. I think that was, he was looking, I think that he was trying for the goal there. So the keeper a little off his line. I wouldn't think that was a long ball.
It's nice to see that these Central FC is trying to get a second one just before the half-time break to put some pressure onto Walsall FC. As again, Walsall FC have been in this situation many a times in these preseason games, coming from behind and getting results.
Well, this is something good here for Central FC, but you wouldn't think that he would get past 3 white, 2 red shirts.
I think this time Walsall did better in recovery in defending well. I think they're just doing a little too much in the back and giving away silly balls. And these are where what Central FC have to do now and punish them when teams lack and in concentration to get by them.
Flannagan finding Gordon, but he doesn't know what to do with the ball on that instant. Oliver, cheeky passes from him.
Oliver is trying to settle the game a bit more and get a lot more passes in it, but these youngsters, they like to hit the long ball because with the energy they have, they chase the ball, but the whole team is not coming together. This back four is still in their third, trying to walk up to the halfway line while one of their players are in the final third in the opposing half.
So Kari Harris with a through for Central FC on the right side. It's still Central FC leading 1-0. If you have just joined us here, it's pre-season football at the Heath Crawford Stadium. Walsall FC of English League Division, English League 1 against Central FC of the TT Pro League. Flannagan clearing it out only as far as Harris.
And as we go into the halftime break, it's Central FC 1, Walsall 0.
It's a half that was even. Both chances, both teams producing chances. Walsall had a few chances of their own. Central FC had one and they actually scored their chances. One of their chances, I should say. And it's a game that both teams should be happy with their first half efforts.
Yes, they've been happy with the first half efforts, and I think Central FC did really well to score their goal because it was a lot of hard work for the striker to adjust his feet to get it to slip into the first post. But as again, Central Walsall, have been doing pretty well, hitting the crossbar a couple times and having a few close chances.
Welcome back to Wii Sports. It's football time. It's Central FC and Walsall FC. We're getting ready to start the second half here at the Heath Crawford Stadium. Central FC leading 1-0. With me is a former national goalkeeper, Walsall goalkeeper himself. He played at the 2006 World Cup, Clayton Ince, and alongside me, good evening, Clayton.
Good evening. It's nice to be here, and it's nice to know that your former club, Walsall FC, I'm watching one of the clubs of the TT Pro League, Central FC.
And also joining us is the secretary of the Walsall Club, Dan Mole. Good evening, Dan.
Hi Ian, it's great to be here. We've had a fantastic tour so far and a bit disappointed with the score at half time, but we've changed the team for the second period and hopefully we'll see an improvement.
And hopefully you are looking for what happened on Sunday, a repeat of that game where you were trailing 1-0 at the half and came back and went 3-2.
Yeah, I think with us being a professional football club and us at the moment a lot of what we're doing is strength and conditioning work. So we're stronger and peaking towards the second half, which is exactly what Coach Smith, Dean Smith, is after at the moment.
As we look at the second half kicking off here, this time Central FC kicking from right to left on your screens. They are playing in white, and Walsall playing in the red kits. How did you was able to assess the talent of this country so far in your little stay here?
We've seen some excellent players. We come out here for the experience, but also to see what the Trinidad and Tobago players had to offer. We was hoping to find a little diamond. I think we may have found a little gem in Jem Gordon. He's been superb for us so far. He scored 3 goals in 2 games. He's still he's a rough diamond, shall we say. There's things that he needs to work on, but the potential of the likes of Jem and Nicholas Dillon and Rundell Winchester, players that have been with us, is great to see. And also I think they'll have benefited from a full week training with a professional football club.
Maybe we can see one of these players in the Walsall books later.
Possibly, but it's always down to the coach, Coach Smith. He's the man who makes the decisions, as we know, Ian. So he'll assess them. We've got a very good academy ourselves as well. So but he's definitely a player, Jem Gordon, that has caught the eye on this tour so far.
Yes, it's good to see that, we have players of any caliber. And, you don't have to look at the high standard of football. We go into the Super League where we have players there, but it's just players to get recognized, and to see that this youngster has been recognized and playing at a decent level with the Walsall FC, it shows that Trinidad have a lot of talent, but we have to go really far and into the rural areas, I should say, to get these players, because who knows, you wouldn't have seen him in the Pro League with any of these clubs, and he went down to a step lower to see this player.
Corner for the Saddlers now, Ashley Hemmings on second half. We'll go through the lineup for the Saddlers for the second period. We've virtually complete change from the first 11. Hemmings into Purkiss. Back to Baxendale. Gets his shot away. Great goal. Absolutely stunning finish there from the Saddlers. I think it's young Danny Griffiths. Great to see the boy.
We're changing the entire lineup here. It really did pay off.
Well, we like to switch things up here. We have changed that lineup. We've got Richard O'Donnell in goal now, Ben Purkiss right back, Jay Chambers left back, Dean Holden, Paul Downing centre halves, Nicky Featherstone and Jake Heath in the middle of the park, Ashley Hemmings out left, and Kieron Morris wide right. So we have made a number of changes to that lineup.
And it just shows to go that the game is never done by just one goal. You have to work hard for the whole 90 plus minutes to get the game done. And it shows again that Walsall FC come from behind in the second half and getting the results.
And great to see Danny Griffiths on the score sheet. He's a first-year pro for those Saddlers fans out there. He's signed a contract with us in May of this year, so it's his first year as a professional. Big season for Danny. Lovely kid who's come through the ranks, and great to see him on the score sheet.
And back again, we're seeing Walsall with a lot of possession in the game. They're trying both ways, hitting a long ball and sometimes combining together to get through the Central FC defense, where that they need to focus and concentrate on not having this team walk through the team. But again, it's early part doors for the TT Pro League team, but it just shows that you always have to be focused and concentrate. And once you're a footballer for a whole year and not just for the season.
Clayton, you know all about our academy as well. You worked with them for a number of years. We've got some great coaches working out there, haven't we? And we've got some great kids coming through the ranks.
Yes, Walsall always been doing well with their youth system. They bring a lot of great players and a lot of players that, that being overseen by the coach, by the manager. But as I said, Walsall is a great club for developing the youngsters. And as we are seeing it tonight, a lot of youngsters on Walsall team, and they're looking pretty well.
Darren Mitchell just committing that foul there on the number 14.
That's the goal scorer, Danny Griffiths. A marked man now, Ian, after that goal.
But of course, after scoring that goal, indeed, he will be kept company on the pitch.
But the same thing I've been saying, be defending deep, no pressure on the ball, and it gives hardly the keeper any time to react to it, to react to the shot that he had no chance with, but it was a great shot by the Walsall player and put it to the back of the net.
You can see, Clayton, now as the second half progresses, the style of play that Dean wants to play, can't you? You can see that it's a lot of possession football. I think if we'd come out here and we didn't play this style, the pace and enthusiasm of the TNT players would have overrun us, but because we keep the ball.
Yes, and that's the thing that, we all used to say about English football. It's just a long ball. And to show that an English one team is putting the ball down on the ground, getting a lot of possession, keeping the ball, and just, varying the attack and not just going for just the old English style, long ball over the top and going to the next team box.
That's Dean Smith's philosophy in football. It's to get the ball down, play, get young, hungry players coming through the ranks. And that's what we've got, a perfect blend.
So as we see Central FC trying to get themselves back into the game, getting a bit of possession, but we have to look forward to get the possession, keep the ball in the next team half and not just in your field. I say they're strongly trying to keep possession of the ball, but we're hardly getting movement for players to receive the ball.
And Ewan Peltier, the number 9 for Central FC, have been introduced into the game at a half. Ewan Peltier, another one of San Juan Jabloteh players, would have been playing under Fenwick and their time at Jabloteh.
It's the same thing you look at. You know, I mean, Central FC is going for the long ball again, looking for the speed of the players. That, you know, I mean, it deceives Walsall, but it's a good mix, and Walsall is adjusting to that type of play of Trinidad football.
What I have noticed while I've been here is the pace of the play, the pace of the players as well. Whether you're a centre half, a left back, left wing, every player's got real pace, which is something that in England we don't have in abundance.
I think the football in Trinidad, a lot of players are athletic players too. They come from a real athletic. They not just play football alone, but they do a lot of, you know, in the secondary schools and primary schools, a lot of running. You know, I mean, a lot of sprints, 100, 200, and just the ability of you know, I mean, getting into any sport, cricket, netball, I mean, football, basketball. They just get into anything.
Yeah. Free kick here for Central FC. Looks like the goal scorer, doesn't it, Ian Marcano, standing over this one?
He's behind it. He most likely, in the angle, he's going to take a right-footed shot. I think a left-footed shot will be more useful. So let's see what he will do here. I think he might just lay it off to one of the 3 guys, including Marvin Oliver, who's there. Let's see what he can do.
Oh, that's high, wide, and not at all handsome, that one. They do play rugby here as well, though, don't they? They do play rugby here as well, don't they?
They are playing rugby here.
That was a try conversion.
Well, he could be here tomorrow. In fact, there's a NACRA on the 19 tournament that will be playing here tomorrow. And that's a game that you can look at on Wii Sports at 2 o'clock, as well as a replay of this particular match at 10 o'clock in the morning. And if you look closer, you can see the lines marked out on the pitch for the rugby. So of course he would have been confused. He thought it was really a conversion.
Throw to Central FC, dealt with by Purkiss.
Darren Mitchell exchanging passes with Peltier.
And lucky there from Danny Griffiths. Decent control there to just head the ball through and try and run onto it. I'd like to say a big shout out to all the Walsall fans as well, because I know there's a lot of Walsall fans listening to the stream online. In fact, I know of at least 2 ladies back home who are listening, my wife being one, Emma Mole, and Coach Smith's wife, Nicola Smith, who's already texted me to say she's listening, enjoying our commentary. I think she likes your voice the best, Ian.
But good to know that, you know, I mean, just not only having Walsall Club down here, but to have Trinidad football stream live in the UK, it shows that, you know, I mean, we have something to give to the rest of the world, not just even just in the World Cup, but at our local coverage too.
Yes, and they are streaming on WeSportsTV.com.
That's what this tour's about, though. This isn't just about football. This is about building friendships and lasting partnerships between football clubs and communities. Clayton Ince knows from his time at Walsall how much we emphasise our community work and the work that the boys have done out here. We've been to San Fernando training children. We've had groups here today learning from Coach Smith. During our time in Tobago, all the boys went out there and coached over about 200 children. It's an important part of the work that we do. It's not just about coming here and playing football. Yes, we're here for the fitness. Yes, we're here for the conditioning. Yes, we're here for the start of the new season. But this is much more than that. And our players have behaved impeccably, and it's been a fantastic tour.
Just to show you that football all over the world can bring players.
Lovely play. That's lovely play. That is Hemmings. Ooh! Just wide, Ashley Hemmings.
And it's just wide of the post of the goalkeeper. I think the goalkeeper had it covered, but it was a good combined effort from the Walsall strike force that just didn't get in that back of the net for that good play they had.
Inches wide.
Inches wide. A big season for Ashley Hemmings in the second year of a 2-year contract. He was released from Wolves prior to his arrival, so he'll be looking to impress Coach Smith during the coming months. Seems strange saying Coach Smith because back in England it's manager or gaffer.
Darren Mitchell doing well defensively.
But as again I've been saying, football, any part of the world, they always, bring people together, and it makes the world. It's one of the sports that you can have your indifferences, and still football makes everybody laugh, smile, and rejoice together.
It's got to be offside. If that's not offside, I'm a Dutchman. They're relaxed. The linesmen are relaxed over here as well, aren't they? The linesmen are nearly as relaxed as the coach drivers.
Pretty much relaxed, but we have a couple of the referees and referees assistants who are not all that laid back.
I think I met one of those the other day, actually. Yeah.
And that's an infringement there in the middle of the park. Griffiths, the goal scorer, committing it there.
The physios seem relaxed here as well.
Everyone's relaxed.
I think, everybody look at it as friendly games and stuff, but once you play football, it's not really friendly into football because you don't know who's looking at you at the point in time. We have this club, Walsall, come from the Division 1 from England, and these youngsters, they have to put themselves about, showcase themselves, because you don't get these opportunities at any given time, and it doesn't come every week. So I think these youngsters should really put themselves and their ability to show the club what they have.
Yeah, you talk of the youngsters here, we've got the youngsters back home as well playing, about our academy from 8 all the way through to 18. In fact, for the listeners out there, Coach Smith's son, Jamie Smith, who I know is listening as well, he's got great potential. He's in our academy at the moment, so we're a real family club. We've got players from the management in our academy looking to break through as well.
Yes, and that shows, they start at ground level, where you get these toddlers, I should say, into the football world and teach them it. And that's the things that we have to learn a lot more back here, is getting our youngsters more into academies and developing them, not just when they reach the age of secondary school for that we look forward to invest in them. We have to invest into the youngsters.
Quick free kick from Purkiss, finds Baxendale. Back to Purkiss. Sloppy there from Bennett right back.
Oliver playing the square pass on the right side. Ball intended for Peltier. This is Makano. Makano trying to inject something here for Central FC, but falls safely and well dealt with by the Walsall defense.
Also is doing pretty well, getting the ball down on the ground, knocking out from their final third, and they look pretty comfortable. Good ball possession, good ball control, and good movement by the whole team.
Purkiss and Baxendale are linking up well on this right-hand side. Baxendale on the ball at the moment. Back out wide to Purkiss. Comes back inside, back to Baxendale. Downing now. Looking to penetrate. This is where we need to penetrate through.
And I think this is...
Stays on side, gets his cross in. Nobody there. Nobody at the back stick.
And I think this is one thing we have to look at Trinidad, at the Warsaw players. They're not taking too much risk and too much touches on the ball. They just try to pass the ball around and make the ball work the field instead of just running the ball. And those are the things that we have to learn back here a lot. Let the ball do all the work, and you don't have to run at the ball. The ball will just play in itself, and you just have to get in the positions.
Yes, I've never heard a ball complain that he was tired.
No, the ball never gets tired, and that is what it's built for, to roll about, not for you to just run about. And look at it, Warsaw is knocking the ball from left to right, very comfortable. The players are sure what they're doing, and the movement is, we can look at this and learn from it.
This is the way that we played last season, and plaudits up and down the country for. It's a style of play, and to repeat that phrase, it's a philosophy of the football club at the moment. Long may it continue.
And this also helps the club, instead of spending big money and bringing good big players, that it develop this type of system where that, the players are comfortable, the players are excited to play, and you get results. And to show that Walsall doesn't have to go and spend and break the bank to get good players, they bring it out of the academy.
Just seen some good work from Marvin Oliver, who did very well to evade that defender.
As I say, Marvin Oliver is one of, a long-serving player in the TT Pro League, and he's showing his quality. He mightn't have the legs, but the knowledge of the game and what to do, he's doing pretty well.
Lovely little back heel then from Baxendale to Griffiths and Sterling as we slow the play down again.
I say all Walsall players are getting involved. They're passing the ball around the park, keeping possession, penetrating when need to.
Lovely one too, Featherstone and Griffiths. Griffiths has done well, Clayton, for a young boy, 19 years old, first year professional. Up top on his own, with Baxendale in the hole. I think he's looked good this half.
Yes, he's looking pretty good, and he's confident on the ball. He knows what he's doing, and he's trying to get everybody involved, and it shows, the confidence in the youngster and the ability of the youngster.
James Chambers now pops it out wide to Ashley Hemmings. Referees ball play back up. Clayton, you trained with the boys yesterday. We had a bit of a sweat on afterwards. bit of work from you, big man. I haven't seen you doing that for a few years. Yeah. What did you make of the group and the atmosphere that we've got around the camp?
It's a nice bond and a nice mix we also have right now. It's good to see that, the youth system, they're listening and they're learning. I've been there. Goalkeepers are 18 and
we've got
22, and
we've got a trialist in at the moment, and we've got then Liam Roberts, who's a first-year professional. So young keepers at the club at the moment. Yeah, and even though I'm not with the club, they still look up to me, and they see, the potential and the pedigree that have passed through the club. Everyone looks up to you. You're about 6'8".
Well, that's one part of it, but just to know that the quality you give, even when I come back to Trinidad and play for a couple clubs, the experience that I gave them from playing with Walsall, and the disappointments Walsall had, and to know that we went there and bring it back up to the glory days.
Well, we have just seen a double substitution for Central FC. Kieron Morris, he's coming in, as well as Julio Noel. Just seen, and look at number 7, Jason McCannell, going back to the Central FC's bench.
I'm pleased with that substitution, to be honest, Ian. I think McCannell, for me, has been the best player in Central's team. And whether he's been rested by Coach Fennick, only he will know.
Well, McCannell has been a very consistent player in the TT Pro League. He has been called up to the national team on a couple of occasions, but just not able to cement his place on the Soca Warriors team. But always a guy who has caused some defense, some problems. That kind of player who can keep a defense honest when he's on the pitch.
Featherstone dispossessed now as Central come forward.
Winchester, I don't know what Winchester was thinking. Perhaps he was really thinking that was a conversion in a rugby sevens game. As the ball went, the direction was very good if it was a rugby goal post, but not a association football post.
Another player who's been with us for a few days, Rundell Winchester, and did okay, to be fair. Another one that was with us, and you can see he's got potential. Strong and athletic, which seems to be the Trinidad and Tobago way.
Good to see Sadler's putting the ball down on the ground again and just combining to each other, getting good ball movement. And players are just moving into space. You don't have to have the ball to get into the forward position. They're showing you that they could, run without the ball and get into comfortable positions. Marvin Oliver spreading it out to the right. As I said, Marvin Oliver is really doing really well.
Winchester almost in behind there, Winchester.
And Winchester been called for the infringement. It's still 1-1 for Central FC and Walsall FC at the Hazy Crawford Stadium. Both teams engaging in some pre-season football. Both teams getting ready for their respective campaigns in the English League One and the Digital Pro League.
Been seeing a couple of the games in this pre-season game, and the pace of our strikers in Trinidad is a bit deceptive for the Warsaw team, and that's what Warsaw is adjusting pretty well with, and they're handling it pretty all right. But it's good for Warsaw to play teams like this with deceptive strikers and quick strikers.
Lovely work there. Just caught offside there, the Saddlers, but it's nice to see two contrasting styles, isn't it, Clayton, on the same football field. We're very much keep ball, possession football, and then play that killer ball as and when, whereas Central very much looking to get forward at the first opportunity and break with pace.
Yes, and I think that's what made the game exciting, because I think if both teams were just playing pity-patty, knocking the ball around, it wouldn't be interesting.
Well, we are seeing Morris and Benning returning to the pitch, wearing the number 21 and 12 jerseys respectively.
But it's good to see that we have two different style of football, to see the adjustment of it. I think Trinidad team is more playing the English style, where we go long and above and challenge each ball in the area, where the English team is more putting the ball down on the ground and playing and combining with each other.
Just looking at those substitutions, the first one sees Paul Downing coming off for the Saddlers. Ben Purkiss, who's been right back this half, slots into centre half alongside Dean Holden. James Chambers come out to the right, with Mal Benning taking up his natural position as left back. Second substitution is Kieron Morris, and it looks like he's replaced number 10, Omari Sterling-James.
So Warsaw is even using a lot of the players to look and see the positions and the switch around, because playing at the level that they will be playing, they have teams like Wolves who've been playing in the Premier League in about 4 years ago, they're in the Division 1 football. So, and they will have a lot of experienced players, and a lot of players, and even the manager will be switching systems, and these are things that Warsaw have to adjust to.
Spot on, Clayton, and that's what we did in our last fixture. We were 2-0 down at half time, and Dean had looked at a three at the back formation, just so he could see what the boys were like. Mazy run here from Kieron Morris, still gets the ball, whips the ball in, just gone for the back stick, but there's nobody there.
I think he overworked himself really hard and tried to just get the ball in the box. I didn't think he looked up to see where the runners were. And that's part of the experience that these players have to learn. They get down, you work hard, but take the composure to get the ball in the box and in the danger zone.
So Morris coming back on the pitch to torment the Central FC's players, doing very well as we are looking back at that clip, and drawing the foul as the number 22 for Central FC committing the foul there.
But the manager of Warsaw FC, I spoke to him a bit, and he's saying he just let the guys go out there and play, and he just wants to see how they adjust and how they adapt themselves in a different formation, different styles, and that's good of a manager, to just let his players go and play and adjust themselves and make it worthwhile.
Just being with the group for the full week, you just appreciate a lot more what great staff that this football club has got. I've watched Dean at close ranks, Richard O'Kelly at close ranks, John Whitney, Neil Cutler, Ricky Shamji, our club doctor. Long
Free
ball
kick
in.
from Darren Mitchell. Easy catch for the goalkeeper in the end.
Easy for the keeper. But yeah, it's great you've seen him as well, close up. It's great to see the work that they put in and the trust that they have in the players, and to talk through positions and to talk through set plays and talk through match play and let the boys make the decisions and learn.
Yes, I've been around the manager when he was at the youth system, when I was at Walsall, and we talk a lot and we have a good friendship. And to see he come here and he's given that same type of experience, but in a more mature way of letting the players make the decision and enjoy the football, because football is about enjoyment. Football is about letting players make the decisions themselves when they go out on the pitch, because there's only so much a manager could do for players. We pick the players, we get them there, but when they reach on the pitch, the players have to make the decisions. And I think in Trinidad football, I think our players, we need to grow up and learn that style, make positive decisions, and it shows in life. It shows in life where you have to make decisions, not only when you have kids or whatever, but at a young age. What path you want to go, if you want to go at a career-wise in football or in any other thing that you do.
Good to see Griffiths and Baxendale once again linking up. That's been a real plus point from this second half.
There we go again with the long ball. Central FC is just trying. Walsall is playing a very high line, so that's why Central FC is just trying to get the ball just behind the defense so they can run onto it. I think Walsall is pretty looking for a bit tougher game, but as I said, it's very early into the pre-season for our TT Pro League teams, and Walsall, their season is about to kick off very early next month.
Hemmings now out wide for the Saddlers. Checks back inside. Benning. Nice play.
Nice ball movement.
Back into Benning. Saddlers switching play now. Morris on his favoured left foot, looking to cut inside. Nice into play. Griffiths. Oh. Just wide, but the linesman's not as relaxed as he was earlier, and gets his flag up.
This is part of the game that, Central FC has been ball watching, because the ball has just been rolling just in front of them, about 5 yards, and all the players are watching it. And, those are the things that we have to keep switch on. We just can't be ball watching.
Have you been impressed with what you've seen, Ian, from the Saddlers this evening?
I'm very impressed by the team. As Clayton mentioned earlier, they're playing the ball on the ground. They're not playing the traditional long ball as we are grown accustomed watching from the English leagues and in the European leagues. They're playing the ball on the ground. In the Central FC, who is playing more of the aerial ball. So I'm pretty impressed by the skill of these young lads.
Chambers now with a free kick. Plays it short to Baxendale, back to Chambers. Lovely little 1-2 between the two, handball. Referee waves play on and the ball drops into Central's keeper. I had the pleasure of going to Clayton into his house yesterday evening and saw all his medals and shirts and Walsall footballs. This guy was a legend back home. I hope and I'm sure he's a legend here.
But of course, he's one of the goalkeepers we had at the 2006 World Cup.
But behind every great man is a great woman, and Clayton's wife made our dinner this evening. And it was the best meal we've had on the island so far, pre-match meal. So big up to Clayton's wife for that one.
The good thing about it is that, the adjustment to the meals for these players, they're not accustomed to all those spicy foods. So, it was nice that they have a change of their traditional pre-match meal today, which they enjoyed a lot.
I didn't get any though, Clayton. Got a bit of cake.
And speaking of pre-season football, how Defence Force has been going so far as your Defence Force goalkeeping coach?
Defence Force hasn't started training as yet. The players had a long season and they have a well-deserved rest within the TT Pro League. When we start off with them, they'll be pretty well refreshed and to come out working hard, as they always do.
Corner for the Saddlers, whipped in by Ashley Hemmings to the back stick.
And of course, in this upcoming season, Defence Force being the reigning champions, teams will be coming out gunning for Defence Force.
Yes, it was unfortunate, last season where they had the SOE, that, the team did pretty well still to come fourth in the league and having to lose so much game and having had a pre-season. It was good of them to, show their quality and their worth of coming, as I say, fourth without having a pre-season, having to work these long hours and still be professional.
But of course, with a coaching staff that includes yourself and your former teammate Russ Russell, two great goalkeepers, great footballing minds, of course, the team can only do well.
Yes, and that's the thing is, us ex-national players, we have to give our knowledge and our experience back into these players and get them motivated to play a good game of football. And to be rewarded with good football is winning trophies.
In the meantime, Darren Mitchell looking forward, looking for Winchester in front of him, but found a red shirt. Now coming back to your coaching lineup, in 4 seasons, Defence Force won 2 leagues, Pro Bowl and the First Citizens Cup, and those were the 4 trophies that Russ Russell was at the helm. So how would you rate Russ Russell among the local coaches in Trinidad and Tobago?
The results and the performance shows itself. To get these players motivated, to get them to do the proper job and the right job and stay professional about it. I think, he's up and there about, because it's really hard to get these youngsters now to be motivated and to play good football and to get results.
Good work here from Central FC. This is Peltier trying the shot straight to the goalkeeper. So Central FC injecting some kind of urgency in their play. Still 1-1 Central FC and Walsall FC. If you've just joined us here on Wii Sports, remember you can catch this game again 10 a.m. on Wednesday morning. And you're looking at the shot from Peltier once more, straight to the goalkeeper.
Well, it shows that, Central FC is now trying to combine and not play the long ball, and I think they're getting through. They adjusted on Warsaw FC, and Warsaw FC is still looking for the long ball, and they're fitting in with these combination passes.
The combination passes, the ball on the feet, that's the type of football that is more suited to Trinidad and Tobago.
But I think what Central FC, the players have not been playing with each other on a regular basis, and I think the trials of having young ones, new players, sometimes it's a bit difficult, especially when they don't know each other too well. They know each other by seeing each other, but by playing together, it's a bit difficult.
I know too well sometimes, and that is very important. Players need to know each other. There are some players like the ball straight towards their feet. There are some players like the ball placed in front of them so they can run onto it. So you need to know each other very well to know what kind of pass to pass to your partner.
And I think, in football in general, players have to start assessing themselves, assessing the conditions, in every way.
And to be fair to Central, there's long ball and there's direct, and I'd class Central as direct rather than long ball. It's not just kick and run. There's a pattern to play, and then there's the getting that ball in when you can.
Yes, and that's what Warsaw is doing pretty well. They're not just playing straight balls, but they're playing diagonal balls. Guys are running, from deep forward. Some guys are coming short for the ball, and that's a mix there that Central FC have to adjust to.
Morris out to Benning now. Clips the ball into nobody in the middle of the park there for the Saddlers.
I think Saddlers is a bit, they're losing a bit of the enthusiasm they had started the second half. And sometimes it pays, the consequences, you pay for it. Because Central FC are getting a lot more
Winchester.
chances. As I said before, Central FC is getting a lot more chances and easier chances. Also, is just taking the foot off the pedal, and you can't do that as a footballer. You always have to be playing at your best and playing at a pace that you will get results from.
Central FC, in view of season offload some of their players. I've seen Hayden Tinto and Cyrano Glenn scoring for Malabar FC in the Super League, and that's especially Tinto, who has scored, who has gone on in history as the first scorer from Trinidad and Tobago to score in Mexico, and now he's playing in the Super League. What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, when Tinto, he's a great player, you know what I mean, and to get that opportunity and to score the Azteca, it was a real, you know what I mean, it was a real gem of a goal he did. Sometimes, you know what I mean, players, they wilt when they are at their peak, instead of they grow and try to go further on. So, you know what I mean, it's a tale of two sides. You have to look at it. What is the ambition of the player, and you know what I mean, what the player settles for. Central FC is now trying to keep possession of the ball, passing the ball around, but you can see lack of movement on the pitch by the other players around. So therefore he goes to the long ball, which he doesn't get successful, and you have to go all chasing and defending now.
Chambers now wide right for the Saddlers, looking to penetrate the Central FC half. Hemmings, who switched sides now with Kieron Morris, so Saddlers line up with Ashley Hemmings on the right, Kieron Morris moved out to the left, with Heath in the middle of the park. Another one of our young players, a shot of Richard O'Kelly, their first team coach, prowling on the touchline. He's had a pink cap on a lot of the time this holiday. I can't say holiday because it's tournament, but Richard's had a pink cap on most of his pre-season, so it's nice to see him not with his cap on for a change here.
Enjoying the weather of Trinidad and Tobago.
It was hot today while we was training here at Hazley Crawford.
I think the weather has been good to Walsall, because sometimes we have a bit more hotter weather than what they've been at the moment. We had a few spells of rain. The tropical storm just recently passed. So, you know what I mean, it's been pretty kind to you, I should say, at this time of the year.
While it was kind here, it wasn't kind to the cricketers at the Queen's Park Oval, where the cricketers stayed indoors for most of part of the day. Sri Lanka versus India, but Sri Lanka surrendering to India, who won by 81 runs in Duckworth-Lewis system. But the weather really benefited the footballers here at the Hazley Crawford Stadium. The pitch not hard, the pitch soft. Good for football.
Great for football, and this pitch is superb. It's the best surface that we've played on throughout our pre-season tour. To be fair, the Dwight York training pitches over in Tobago were excellent as well, and we trained and played at the Atto Bolden Stadium as well. Both decent surfaces, but this one today for training today was excellent. I know Dean was really happy with the surface. Very quick surface, Ian. It's a very quick surface.
Yeah, I think they cut the grass a bit shorter than normal, so the ball don't really have much to hold up onto. You know what I mean? It's a pure difference to the English turfs, where there's grass is a bit longer, but they also keep it a bit moist. So it protects the grass and the dirt. You know what I mean? Because if you cut it too short, it uproots the whole prospect of it, and you know what I mean, you get bad pitches with it. So that's why they keep it a bit longer. And I think they in England too, I think they tried the mixture of the AstroTurf, artificial turf, and grass.
Yeah, in the Premier League, that's all the rage now, with probably 75% artificial and just 25% grass. We're traditionalists at Walsall, and we've just had a new pitch laid for the coming season. Although it's very hot back home, so hopefully groundsmen will be like Walsall later.
They have Caribbean weather in England, and we have the English weather in the Caribbean. I think you brought it with you.
I've done 4,500 miles to get here, and it rains. My luck, that. And then my wife phones me and says, Dan, weather's lovely back home.
You know what I mean? It's always said to bring part of not just your culture, but the weather too with you. But the football game, you know what I mean, the game right now is, you know what I mean, it's pretty good. It's a bit even. Warsaw is, you know what I mean, getting a bit scrappy at times. I think players are losing focus. And I think with the preseason, you get a bit of that type, because this time of the year and this time of the season is way about fitness and staying injury free.
Yeah, this pre-season tour has been all about the fitness and conditioning of our players. It's been great to come out here and to meet new friends and build bonds across the pond, as they say. But the main thing is twofold. From a football point of view, it's strength, conditioning, fitness, and from a group point of view, it's all about the boys bonding ahead of a big season for us.
Some more substitutions for Central FC, seeing France husbands coming onto the pitch, wearing the number 37.
This part of the season, I mean, for both teams and for any team and any player, is staying fit and injury free, because you don't want to really get injured this part of the game, because this is where the manager is watching what he's looking for the upcoming season. And another part of professionalism is a professional footballer. You have to keep your own personal fitness. A club doesn't do that for you, a manager doesn't do that for you, but you have to do it yourself.
Baxendale on the ball now, out wide to Hemmings, clips inside, looked to be fouled, but referee waves play on and throw into Central FC. Just a word for everyone at Central FC, they've been excellent to ourselves, Brent Sancho and Kevin Harrison, Kevin Jeffries. It's been a great tour so far, and it's been great to have them as our hosts, and we really enjoyed it and hope to be back to these beautiful islands. Another big name Ian in TNT, Brent Sancho.
But of course, and he has been doing a lot of good work. He's with Central FC now, but he was doing some very good work with Northeast Stars before he came and formed the Central FC. But he has been doing very well since he has been playing football since in the days of Malek Secondary as a schoolboy, and he went on, he played with the national team, Gillingham. He spent a fair amount of time there and came back and doing a lot to help the football in this country.
Hemmings with the throw-in.
Back to the football, you know what I mean, it's nice to see Walsall. There are a lot of players. It's good that no players have been injured, to say, and the players are working.
Great little check inside. Sorry, Clayton, just offside there, Danny Griffiths.
Yes, I know you get a lot of excitement and really excited for the little things.
You know me, Clayton.
And that is all part of football. Football is about excitement, about surprises, you know what I mean, about results. And Walsall have been getting all the good results so far. So I think Trinidad, I think tonight they might get a few surprises.
Long pump upfield, well dealt with by Dean Holden.
I think Central FCs are getting, I think the possession this half, you know, is a bit of 50-50 by both teams. Getting the opportunities, a fair share of opportunities, getting into spaces. And I think Central FC has now brought in a lot of nippy players, a lot of skilled players. So they're just taking the challenge to Walsall FC. Walsall FC putting the ball down, trying to get possession, getting the ball movement, player movement, and they're holding possession pretty well. They're getting a bit competitive to Walsall FC. And this is what we're looking at. A little competitiveness.
Hemmings now out wide for the Saddlers. Checks back inside onto his left foot. Chambers picks the ball up. Finds Baxendale. Back into Chambers. Lovely play from the Saddlers, creating space now for Hemmings. Checks inside to Benning now into the central box.
What was impressive with me is the vision of the Saddlers youngsters. You know what I mean? These players know exactly what is going on around them without them having to really look around them too much. They exactly know what players will be running at what position and how perfectly to put the ball for them.
And that's a credit to Dean and Richard O'Kelly for the work that they do on the training ground. And I'll repeat my phrase from earlier, Clayton, that's the philosophy of the football club now, a different blueprint to the one that was in place during your time at the football club.
Yes, you know what I mean, and this thing we're getting the same results because in my time we got with Richard Money, we got a lot of results, we got a lot of great players, and the thing is, you know what I mean, to see the same results you're getting now at the academy level. See the fourth assistant has put up 4 minutes extra time into this game, and we are still at a 1-1 score.
I think 4 minutes of injury time in.
4 minutes of injury time, 1-1, but that doesn't imply that the game has been short on action. A lot of action this game had, but it's a very good score still. 1-1 shows that both teams have a fair amount of defense to let in just 1 goal each.
It's been a good workout, and I hope that the viewers have enjoyed seeing what we have on offer. As we look to break through now. Clipped inside.
Simple.
Got to finish.
Oh, well
great
saved
work
off the line.
at the end. I think, well,
I think he did just as well as the goalkeeper. I think Walsall was a bit playing about in the 18-yard box when they could have scored the opportunity, but it has gone and well defended by Central FC.
Featherstone rounded the goalkeeper, unselfishly plays it back for Griffiths to make it 2-1 in injury time, but good goal, good work from the central keeper, although Danny could have gone first time.
Yes, and that's when you don't take your chances when you're supposed to. You know what I mean? That is where you bring the inexperience of these youngsters, that they put away a game in the final minutes of the game, and they just throw away that chance.
he even had the opportunity to play on the other red shirt who was to the left of him, but he failed to do so, and that could have been a 2-1 if he had seen that player there.
And I've got that angry and I've screwed up your paper. I do apologise.
Well, in these opportunities here, he's just hoping that Central FC doesn't get their opportunity now to put it to bed.
Well, he was a late winner on Diatto Bolden Clayton, so
yes.
let's hope there's another surprising stall.
And that is the thing, you know what I mean, don't lose focus and don't lose concentration. This is the time of the game that you concede very soft goals because players think the game is all over as the assistant has put up the 4 minutes extra time.
Ball bounces, Dean Holden deals with it. Benning out to Morris now. Morris clips the ball forward. Well dealt with there by Central FC. We picked the ball up deep in Sharks territory. Good cover from Mal Benning there. Good experience from the youngster. Featherstone, who doesn't waste a pass. Number 6 for the Saddlers, Nicky Featherstone, never wastes a pass.
Yes, and he's getting involved in a lot of the ball, which is very nice to show that he's confident and he's willing to work hard for the team.
Chambers out on this right-hand side, into Hemmings, driving forward. Baxendale, crowded out there in the middle of the park. But it's the Saddlers who are looking to turn the screw here late on, isn't it, to get that win. 3-3, Clayton, that's what we want.
Well, the referee has blown the final whistle. The score, Central FC 1, Walsall Football Club 1.
How would you summarize this game, Clayton?
I'll summarize this game as a pretty, you know what I mean, encounter where both teams had opportunities but failed to capitalize on it. And it's a good experience for the youngsters to show their ability.
I thought it was a great game as we look through the highlights here, and we see chances in abundance for the Saddlers early doors, but Central FC did very, very well, and you know, I think a draw was a fair result, and it's a nice way to round off the tour because ourselves and Central are friends now, so it's nice to be able to share the spoils here on this beautiful island.
I see that beautiful goalie from Griffiths.
Great finish there from the youngster. Curled with his left foot. Keeper had no chance. Here's the hit. Hemmings here, just wide, inches wide there, Clayton.
Yes, the opportunities, I think both teams had great opportunities and put it to waste, but it's a fair result for both teams. They showed, you know what I mean, they showed a real competitiveness into it. And
here's that chance right at the end for the Saddlers. Nicky Featherstone turned it on. Danny Griffiths could have let it go first time. Gets his shot away, and that's great work from the defender on the line. That's what you teach your defenders, to go back to the line and cover for the goalkeeper. So could have been so different.
yeah, so, you know, I mean, a good result for both teams, a good run out for a lot of players, a lot of young players, and for Walsall FC, a good tour for them, where they got this opportunity to really show their worth and show that, you know what I mean, they'll come back here another time to see our players.
It's been a fantastic tour for everybody concerned. It's been wonderful to visit Tobago, wonderful to be here in Trinidad, and we've made a lot of friends, and hopefully people listening will be supporting Walsall from now on, keeping an eye on our website, saddlers.co.uk, or following us on Facebook and Twitter. Let's get more followers, let's get the people from Trinidad watching out for the Super Saddlers.
Well, it has been football action here at the Heath Crawford Stadium in behalf of the entire team, alongside commentators Clayton Ince and Dan Mole. I am Ian Wilson, leaving the Heath Crawford Stadium. Central FC 1, Walsall 1.